news. All right.
That's craziness.
Oh.
Well, hopefully I can fix it by the next show.
Oh. Excuse me.
Post regarding the Waffle House in Avondale Estates. They were the safety of a queer space ones. She asked if maybe we could read them online here. At least part of one. They tend to run a little bit long, so we could literally do nothing else. This is my friend, okay, and her name is Eileen. I hope I'm doing that right. Elaine. I'm sorry, Elaine. The mean old feminist.
That's me.
I knew I was not going to get the name right when I started saying it. I just knew it.
Of
I was like, it's an E name. It's an E name. It's an E name.
course.
I hate when my brain does that. Elaine is awesome. She is a regular protester for abortion rights
Counter protester.
and
Yes.
takes absolutely no crap from anybody.
Pretty much not.
And those are some of my favorite things about her.
Mm.
Because that's a good thing. People who are blind are completely honest are a gift, and they're very rare.
Well,
But this is, I think, the first one. It says "Morning Ghosts in the Safe Space," and if you ever want to take over reading part of this, you can.
let me get to my laptop
Okay.
so that I can open it.
And figure out what I'm doing. Hello, Linda Roberta Hibbs. It's no fun. It's no fun when you're all happy and settled and someone makes you move.
No, it's all right. It looks like a tornado hit it, but that's okay.
Did you see the picture I posted of my cat? And she has avoided me for days. And I go to try to work on typing a short story for tonight, and
Oh, she's all up with. Yes, I saw that. Mine are good at that too.
she came up there and started purring. She's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be laying on top of your keyboard."
Yes. Okay.
Annoying little kitty bat.
You've got to know how to get this done. Okay.
I love all the signs on your wall. Yeah,
That's
mine
my
are sleeping
refrigerator.
again too. My Bitey kitty that adopted us, she has picked out my favorite chair now, and she goes from my bedroom to my favorite chair, and sometimes perches on the half wall that's around the basement steps, and those are her 3 spots. She's
Nice.
expanded. Wendy is not coming today. Wendy is celebrating her birthday today. So I'm filling in. Sarah's supposed to join us if she gets to. She's driving home, though, so she's kind of
Out of pocket.
Yeah. She gets
Okay,
to get here when she gets here.
Which one are you looking at?
I think it's the earliest one. It starts the late afternoon light spills. The safety of a queer space, morning ghosts in the safe space.
Okay.
I think the other one, if I remember correctly, is a part 2 or something. Let me see what I can find here. Might as well have it set up next, huh? Doo-doo. And click. And the second one, trying to get my... Hi, Rouser. How you doing? The Ghosts That Love is the second installment. So, yeah, the first one is Ghosts and Morning Ghosts. The second one is Love in a... So,
Okay,
we've got Morning Ghosts and Ghosts That Love.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my description. There.
That's okay. I could do a few paragraphs and then you can take over.
Do a few paragraphs while I get my shit together here.
Okay. Sounds great.
Mhm.
The late afternoon light spills like liquid honey through our windows, and my fucking house is full of people who shouldn't fit together but somehow do. Miles Davis bleeds from the speakers, kind of blue, wrapping around conversations like smoke used to wrap around jazz clubs before everything got sanitized. My chocolate dark hardwood floors are taking a beating from all these boots and bodies, but shit, that's what floors are for. Mom! Ezra's voice cuts through the noise, bright blue hair catching the light as they cradle Coltrane against their chest. The cat purrs like a goddamn motorboat, completely content in their arms. Where'd you get this fuzzy pussy? Rescue, I say, watching Miguel maneuver through my living room carrying the blue box of Lagavulin 18, like it's the holy fucking grail. Maybe it is, just like the rest of us. The kitchen's island is covered in Della's spread. She's commandeered my entire cooking space and turned it into her personal fucking kingdom. The smell of her peaty warm chili mingles with whatever Cajun magic Remy's working on the sides. And there's cornbread in the oven that makes my mouth water. She's wearing my apron, the one that says fuck around and find out in cursive, flour dusting her forearms like battle paint, while Remy stirs something that smells like the bayou had sex with heaven. 54 years on this shithole planet, Miguel announces, setting the bottle down with reverence. His voice carries that sultry, childlike contradiction that always makes me smile. And you're still here causing trouble. Kira leans against the kitchen bar, watching me with those eyes that see straight through my bullshit. You know she's here, right, Wendy? She asks serenely. Helen is here with you, in all of us. Phoenix sits cross-legged on our gray sectional, their purple hair this week catching the geometric shadows from our pendant light. River's got an arm around them, still in their hospital scrubs, protective as always. Brandon's claimed the ottoman with a notepad balanced on his knee, probably working on his latest piece. Sage is already sketching on napkins at the dining table, and Bubba's settled into the corner of the couch like a mountain that has decided to rest. Who the fuck was Helen? Leela asks, direct as always, pouring herself something amber from my bar. She's wearing her political maven uniform, jeans, and a nevertheless she persisted t-shirt that's seen better days but refuses to quit, just like her. You mention her like she is the mother of the earth or something. Helen was the woman who taught Wendy how to mother, Elaine says from her perch on a dining room chair, nursing what looks like Mount Gay and Coke. At 60, she's got that gray sexual lesbian energy that cuts through bullshit like a machete through kudzu.
I love how
You know what?
I can't drink. I'm on medication. I can't drink. But she always gets me drinking. I miss having a cocktail. Okay, I'm still trying to find.
I don't drink either. I haven't had a drink in over a year. Am I right or am I fucking right? Miguel pours Lagavulin into a crystal tumbler I didn't even know we owned, the liquid catching light like captured sunset. The peat smoke hits my nose before the glass reaches my hand. Earth and fire and time all condensed into something I can swallow. Happy birthday, he whispers. I take a sip, let it burn its way down. Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar starts crying through Rivera Paradise, and I swear to fuck it's perfect timing. Helen was my grandmother, I start, settling into my spot where the sectional meets itself, by blood. But she was more my grandmother than anyone else deserved to be. She was also my mother, the only woman in my life that loved me. Not that you can do that easily. Do you want to start?
I can't get my screen to. I can't get my screen to point to her.
Give me a yell when you're ready.
I'm sorry.
Give me a wave or something.
You can dump me if you need help.
Julie shifts in her chair, Diet Coke and Jack Daniels in hand. At 71, she's got that long-divorced distrust of men, but fierce protectiveness of anyone the world tries to shit on. She see you? Really see you? She saw everything, I said simply. When my mother, that narcissistic piece of shit, caught me with Helen's scarf around my shoulders, standing in front of the mirror like I discovered fire. Christ, the look on her face. like she'd caught me murdering puppies instead of just trying to feel beautiful for 5 fucking seconds. Lisa, our pragmatic farm girl lesbian, looks up from where she's been quietly nursing a beer. At 60-something and new to this whole lesbian thing, she's still figuring out her place in queer spaces, but she knows about family rejection. Your mother hit you. Backhanded me so hard I spit blood and enamel onto Helen's carpet. I confirmed, the phantom taste of copper flooding my mouth. Lost my left premolar. Helen made my mother leave. Smart woman, Kira says, and there's not just pride in her voice, but fury. The kind of protective rage that makes me understand why she keeps that baseball bat by our bed. Brave fucking woman. Chris, our 52-year-old Christian guy, shifts uncomfortably in a corner. He's wrestling with his sexuality again today. I can tell by the way he keeps fidgeting with his cross necklace. That's not very Christian behavior, hitting a child. No shit, Sherlock, Eileen snaps from where she's leaning up against the wall. The 50-something flight attendant has that rapid-fire resistance energy that comes from years of dealing with assholes at 30,000 feet. Some people use religion as an excuse to be horrible. Others use it to actually love people.
Okay, I got it now.
Sarah, you ready to come on? I see that Sarah has arrived.
Okay. Well, you can dump me.
I don't have to. 3 people can.
Do you want me to start from here?
Fine. Unless you really want to go, I will invite her and but you could certainly stay on if you want to. I don't mind at all.
Do you want me to start from here, or is Sarah going to read?
Are you ready to read, Sarah?
I have to still pull stuff up.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs, and you let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'll just keep going.
Why am I hearing a feedback?
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo.
I don't know if you're hearing feedback or if you're hearing my speaker from halfway across my house. I'm not sure which.
Well, you're not echoing.
I unbluetoothed it twice and it won't let go.
I think it's gone. No, it's not.
Okay. I don't think it should be me because I only have one speaker going, but it's halfway across my house, so it's really weird. You are so lucky. My kitty cats ignore me on camera most of the time.
Oh, no.
Marcus, nursing his own whiskey and looking like he's trying to decide if he belongs here, speaks up. Sounds like Helen used love as her religion. Exactly, I say, grateful for his insight. Marcus gets the bisexual invisibility struggle, the feeling of not fitting perfectly anywhere, but he's learning that love has many forms. Miranda, sitting near the kitchen where she can help if needed, nods knowingly. At 41, this trans woman and devoted mother understands the weight of choosing to mother with intention. She held your pain so you didn't have to carry it alone. She kept that scarf, I add, voice cracking slightly, blood stain and all. Said some things were worth more broken than whole. I didn't understand then, but I gesture at myself, at all of us, this room full of beautiful damage. I get it now. Grubby, our 30-year-old intersex friend who rarely speaks, looks up from their corner. When they do talk, it's profound, and right now their eyes are bright with unshed tears. She saw your soul before you knew you had one to save. The room goes quiet at that, because Grubby doesn't waste words. And when they speak, we all listen. Eric, still in his factory uniform from the assembly line, wipes his hands on his jeans. The 29-year-old trans man knows about toxic masculinity, about passing in spaces where you have to swallow your truth daily. Did she know what you'd become? I drained half the leg of Vulin, let it restructure my throat. No, the diabetes got her long before I realized my true self. She needed insulin every morning, never hit it. Body needs what it needs, she'd say. No sense pretending otherwise. Sounds like she was teaching you about more than just diabetes, Miranda says softly. understanding the weight of medical needs, of bodies that require intervention to survive. After she died, I continue, voice rougher now. My mother threw out everything. I saved what I could. Her recipe box, a scarf, her journal. Hid them under my mattress like fucking contraband. You ready to read yet, anybody? I just don't want to feel like I'm running the place.
I sat down in front of my computer and things kind of like blew up for a second. So like 2 minutes.
Everyone's having small technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Well, I'm holding the cat now, so
Hi, Piccolote.
I was going to help, but
Sarah.
I'm holding the cat now.
Oh, I don't, cats run everything. We know that. That is so true. Sarah, our stoic 42-year-old butch who's questioning everything while claiming to know all the answers, looks thoughtful. She was preparing you for this, for us. There was a tree, I say, understanding their gift. A Yule tree my mother made me dump outside to die. But after Helen's funeral, I went to it, told it everything she'd helped me understand about myself. And that fucking thing refused to die, stayed green through seasons that should have killed it. Like you, Grubby speaks again, voice soft but certain. Some things refuse to die just because others decide they should. Suddenly, there is movement at the door again. Movement I recognize. And at it again and wasn't there. My glass hits the coffee table harder than it should, liquid sloshing. Everyone in the room goes quiet. Even Miles Davis seems to pause between notes. Because they all know that voice. They've all heard me cry about that voice in the basement of the bar. Have watched me tear up every time I mention her name. The living room door swings open and there she is. Gizmo. My 18-year-old psych student daughter with her father's analytical eyes and her own stubborn chin, wearing ripped jeans and a flannel that's probably older than Phoenix. Her dark hair is shorter than last time I saw her, and yet a maturity I had not seen in her before. Beside her stands Mary, her mother, oldest of my besties, looking uncomfortable but determined in that way that says she drove here despite her better judgment. Still beautiful in that sharp-edged way that used to cut me open, wearing the kind of perfectly coordinated outfit that makes my secondhand clothes feel like costumes. Hi, Mom, Gizmo says. And her voice cracks on the word like she's not sure she still gets to use it. The world stops. Everything stops. The music, the conversations, my fucking heartbeat. All I can see is my daughter, not the one I carried, but the one I raised. The one who used to sing Queen songs with me in the car before everything got complicated. Before separations and complications and the slow erosion of a relationship I died to protect. Gizmo, I breathe, and then I'm moving. Not walking, not running, but something between the two that makes me feel like gravity has shifted. She meets me halfway across the room, and when we collide, when her arms go around me and mine around her, I lose it completely. The sob that comes out of me is raw, primal, the sound of a heart that's been holding its breath for months, finally remembering how to beat. I squeeze her so hard I'm probably hurting her, but she squeezes back just as desperately. Her face buried against my shoulder, and I can feel her crying too. I missed you, I whisper into her hair, and I'm shaking, actually shaking like I'm coming apart at the seams. I missed you, let me get a look at you. I know, Mom, she whispers back, and her voice is thick with tears. I know. I missed you too. I pull back to look at her face, hands framing her cheeks like I need to memorize every freckle, every line, every change that's happened since the last time I saw her. She's got a way about her now, not like before. A settled kindness, an aura, something I couldn't put my finger on. I'm still your kid, she says fiercely. And there's something in her voice that suggests this conversation has been happening in her head for months, too. I'll always be your kid. That breaks me completely. I pull her back into my arms and hold her like she might disappear. Like this might be another dream I'll wake up from with tears on my pillow. But she's solid, real, here in my arms where she belongs. Around us, the room has gone completely silent. I'm dimly aware of my chosen family watching this reunion with varying degrees of awe and emotional devastation. Phoenix is crying openly. River has their arm tighter around them. And even Sarah looks like someone punched her in the solar plexus with pure feeling. Jesus fucking Christ, I hear Elaine's voice barely audible. That's her daughter. Look at her, Julie whispers so softly I almost miss it. She's got Wendy's eyes. The kid she cries about, Bubba's deep rumble full of wonder. She's really here. I nod without letting go of Gizmo, still clinging to her like she's the only thing anchoring me to earth. This is Gizmo, I managed to say to the room, voice muffled against her shoulder, managing to point at her mother in the corner. Our brilliant, beautiful, stubborn, perfect child. Sweet mother of God, I catch from somewhere behind me. She looks just like her. That's Wendy's baby, another voice breathes, the one from all the stories. Gizmo pulls back enough to wave at everyone, face streaked with tears, but smiling through them. Hi, everyone. I've heard so much about you all. Phoenix, right? Mom talks about you constantly. And Della, I smell something amazing coming from the kitchen. Oh my God, Phoenix breathes starstruck. You're real. You're actually real. She talks about you all the time, but we thought that I was imaginary? Gizmo laughs, and it's watery but genuine. No, I'm real, just complicated family shit. She looks like her too, drifts from the kitchen where Della's pretending not to eavesdrop. Same stubborn streak in her voice. Brandon looks up from his notepad, eyes bright with understanding. Family's never simple when you're building it from scratch. Trust me, I know about complicated. Mary steps forward then, clearly uncomfortable, but making an effort. Wendy, she says, nodding at me, you look good. It takes me a moment to process her presence because I'm still drunk on having Gizmo back in my arms. I measure my next words carefully, but emotionally. Pumpkin, I say carefully, thank you. So do you. So do you. She wanted to come, Mary says simply. It's your birthday and she needed to see you. Lisa, still adjusting to her new lesbian revelation at 60-something, wipes her eyes. That's what good mothers do. They know when their kids need something, even if it's complicated. Gizmo looks between us, and I can see her making calculations, reading the room dynamics the way she's always done. My brilliant daughter, already analyzing the social psychology of the situation at 18. Actually, she says, reaching into her back pocket, I have something for you. She pulls out a crumpled envelope, obviously carried around for a while, obviously precious despite its worn edges. I wrote this months ago, but didn't know how to give it to you. And then Mama G, her nick for her mother, said it was your birthday, and I take the envelope with hands that are still shaking, still not quite believing she's here. Inside is a single page, handwritten in her careful script, the one I taught her when she was little and wanted to write like grown-ups. Mama R., I'm in college now, like you always said I would. College is hard as fuck, but every time I want to quit, I hear your voice saying, you're smart enough to figure this out. I wouldn't have made it this far without everything you put in me. The curiosity, the stubbornness, the refusal to let anyone make me small. That's all you, Mom. I miss our Queen sing-alongs. I miss your terrible dad jokes. I miss feeling like I had a mother who saw me for exactly who I was. I love you, Mom. Happy birthday. You deserve all the love your heart can hold. Forever your daughter, Gizmo. I read it twice, then a third time. And by the end, I'm crying so hard I can barely see the words. This letter, this perfect distillation of everything I hope she understood about what we built together, about who we are to each other. Gizmo, I whisper, looking up at her through tears. True, she says simply. Every word is true. I fold the letter carefully, fold it against my chest next to where my heart is trying to beat its way out of my ribcage. Then I look around the room at my chosen family. all of them watching this reunion with expressions ranging from joy to devastation to protective fury on my behalf. Everyone, I say, voice still thick with tears, this is a gizmo. She looks like you, Kira says softly, and there's something in her voice that suggests she sees it too. The way Gizmo holds her shoulders, the way she analyzes everything with those sharp eyes, the way she moves through the world with careful observation. She's smarter than me, I say proudly, one arm still around Gizmo's shoulders because I'm not ready to let go yet. Always has been. Too smart for her own good sometimes, Mary says, but there's affection in it. Always wanting to understand the psychology behind everything. Like her mom, Della calls from the kitchen, where she's been pretending not to eavesdrop while probably crying into the chili. Questions that make you think deeper than you want to. Eric, still covered in factory dust, nods knowingly. Questions that keep you honest, keep you growing. Gizmo looks around the room, taking in the mismatched furniture, the chosen family dynamics, the way everyone seems to revolve around me, with a combination of love and protective instinct that must be fascinating from a psychology perspective. This is what you built, she says wonderingly, and there's awe in her voice. After everything fell apart, this is what you built. Not just me, I say, squeezing her tighter. All of us, together. But you're the center, Phoenix says suddenly. You're the mom, the one who holds it all together. Because that's what love looks like, I say, finally finding my voice again, taking care of people, seeing them for who they are, making sure they know they matter. Like Helen taught you, Gizmo says, and my breath catches. You remember Helen? I was old enough to understand that Helen was the reason you knew how to see me, Gizmo says simply. The reason you never tried to make me into someone else's version of what a daughter should be. The room goes quiet again, everyone absorbing the weight of that statement. Here's my daughter, my brilliant daughter, connecting the dots between Helen's love and the way I raised her, the way I learned to mother from being mothered by someone who saw potential instead of problems. Helen would have loved you, I tell her, voice thick with emotion. She would have seen exactly what I see. Someone brave enough to think for herself, smart enough to ask the hard question, stubborn enough to find her own way. Like someone else I know, Kira says meaningfully, and Gizmo grins. Definitely genetic, she agrees. The stubborn part, anyway. Chris shifts in the corner, clearly moved despite his ongoing internal struggles. That's beautiful, what you there. Families come in all shapes, Eileen says firmly. Her flight attendant directs heading through any door. Can I help you, ma'am? Anyone want to take over reading and I'll see what she's looking at?
Where did you leave off?
Someone on the porch, or she heard a cheese wrapper?
Let's see. Marcus, families come in all shapes, Eileen says firmly. What is it, Lassie?
Try to figure out where that is.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get back to it. Another second.
I've gone too far, sure.
I'll be back before you guys find it.
I know.
Yeah, you probably.
Doing such a good job of reading. I just kind of.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
What was on the porch?
I have no idea. She went running off to the corner of the yard where she's tangled with a raccoon before. So. But did you see her bouncing in here? She is so funny when she does that. Humongous little puppy dog. Anyhow, families come in all shapes, Eileen says firmly. Her flight attendant directness cutting through any potential awkwardness. Blood, choice, or both. Love is love. Marcus raises his whiskey slightly. To mothers who see their children. All kinds of mothers, all kinds of children. Amen to that, Miranda says softly, understanding the weight of choosing to mother with intention. Mary shifts uncomfortably, and I remember she's still here, still part of this equation. Thank you, I tell her again. for bringing her, for letting this happen. She's 18, Mary says with a slight shrug. She makes her own decisions now. Today seemed like the right day. I was just sure you were going to tell me to go away. Nah, why? There is no inclusion in that. None of the things I teach all the others in this room would matter if I didn't include. It's the best day, really. The best day, I correct, and I mean it. This birthday, which started with me dreading the reminder of another year older. Are you staying for dinner? I asked Gizmo. Hopeful, but not trying to pressure. Actually, Gizmo says, glancing at Mary, I was hoping I could stay the night. If that's okay, catch up properly. Maybe hear some of those Helen stories you used to tell me. My heart stops completely. You want to stay? I want to stay, she confirms. I want to meet everyone properly. I want to hear what you've been building here, and, she grins, I want to help Phoenix figure out their major. Psychology can really be helpful for understanding yourself. Phoenix makes us sound like a deflating balloon. Oh my God, you're staying. Wendy's daughter is staying, and she's going to help me with college shit. If you want, Gizmo says gently, no pressure. But sometimes having someone who gets the academic side of identity development can be useful. Sarah, ever the stoic, looks thoughtful. You know what you're getting into with this bunch? I think so, Gizmo says, looking around the room with that analytical gaze I know so well. I think I'm getting into exactly what I've been missing. Julie wipes at her eyes again. That girl's got sense and a heart. Good combination. There's always room, I say, voice steady for the first time since she walked in. There's always room at our table. And then it says continued. We are not going in circles. We are going upwards. The path is a spiral. We have already climbed many steps. Hermann Hesse. Like Helen's love in that defiant Yule tree, some things refuse to die simply because others decide they should. We spiral upward, carrying our ghosts and our gifts, each revolution bringing us closer to who we were always meant to be. And sometimes, if we're very lucky, the climb brings us back to the people we love, changed but not broken, ready to build something beautiful from the pieces of what came before. And here comes my bad kitty cat. The climb brings us back to the people we love. Hey, you turn, no. Bad kitty, do not turn on that. She's really, this is the one that was on my computer earlier. She has a thing about attacking my laptop if it's open. She doesn't get on it if it's closed, only when it's open. Has to be open for her to attack it.
Well.
So that took almost 45 minutes somehow. Well, probably half an hour. Do we want to do the other one? Or do we want to talk for a bit? I got the munchies before I started.
That's okay. What does everybody else want? Come on, this is feminism. We have to build a coalition here.
Oh, Sarah, does that mean I should read it or I shouldn't read it? Why is it behind a paywall? I can still read it if, yeah, Diane, that's how they usually are.
Okay.
They're usually pretty good. There's Sarah, back again.
I'm back.
She's coming back to hurt me.
There you go.
And she's purring. There she comes. You just gotta see her tail though, because she's sneaking down slow. See her fur?
I see.
That is herself, the elf. It's the one subject. Now I'll see her easier if she attacks my laptop again. But I wonder if it's accidentally put behind a table.
No, it wasn't accidental.
Oh, okay.
Do you think it was an accident or wasn't?
No, I've confirmed that it's not. I don't know if she wants us to read it or not, though.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, half an hour is a lot of reading to people, too.
True that.
So how was your trip? Was that vacation, Sarah?
Yeah, it was. I'm not really able to say anything right now.
Okay.
Oh, you just came back from Michigan, didn't you?
I'm still in Michigan.
I mean, you came back from Upper Michigan, though. We were talking about that. Yeah.
Though I went to Wyoming and Colorado.
Oh, nice.
And then the following weekend, I went to the UP for work. And then when I came back from that, a week later, I went up to my cousin's place in the upper part of the Lower Peninsula.
Hmm.
And next weekend, I go back up there again to help her move some stuff.
Oh. Still the Lower Peninsula or back to the Upper Peninsula?
It's the lower.
Hmm.
I go
One of
back
my
to the Upper
brothers lives
Peninsula
out
in
there. His
October.
girlfriend lives in Petoskey, so yeah, he spends a lot of time there. So, yeah.
Yeah, she
I haven't
busy.
been anywhere west except for Portland. So I've been to Colorado if you count being in the Denver airport for however long it took to change planes to get the rest of the way to Portland. But I'm not very, very well traveled. I've always wanted to go to like San Francisco and Seattle and places like that. I just haven't.
Well, do we want to read the second part? We were pretty much told it's up to the audience.
All right, put a 1
Well,
in the chat if you want us to read the
y'all got to
second part.
speak up. Do you want the second part read or not? I mean, I would imagine most of the people that are already paid subscribers anyway. So,
Yeah.
and if
There's
not,
mostly probably
there might
paid
be some
subscribers in here.
become paid subscribers. So,
Oh,
I should probably go get them.
is this the kid?
hey. Yeah, this is my little boy.
Thanks for the meme. That was great.
You want to feed the critters? The cats were all on the porch. They're right there. Yeah, if you get them in, you can feed them canned cat food. Same named step. Thank you. That was a look of I will do it if I have to. If ever I've seen one.
Yeah, you're on camera, kid. Do it.
I can't wait to hear them pick on me about the fact that my Bluetooth is onto the speaker back there.
Hello, bathrobe guy.
Bathrobe guy.
Hey,
You guys want
Rose.
to do the next reading part, or do you want me to keep going? I know some people don't like
I
reading.
think we have 2 votes to read the second story. I can start it if you want me to. You want me to?
Awesome. That'd be great.
I'm going to have to look away from the screen because I'm reading it off my laptop. So just don't think I'm just being rude. That's just okay. You're welcome. The safety of a queer space. The ghosts that love. The dinner conversation flows like good whiskey, smooth, warm, and stronger than you expect. Gizmos settle between Phoenix and River at our dining table, gesticulating with her fork as she explains something about developmental psychology that has Phoenix nodding frantically and River asking follow-up questions that prove their nursing background runs deeper than bedside manner, sorry. So identity formation isn't just about figuring out who you are, Gizmo says, stabbing at Della's cornbread like she's making a point. It's about integrating all the different parts of yourself into something cohesive. The trick is not letting other people's expectations override your own understanding of who you're becoming. Fuck, Phoenix breathes, and their 22-year-old mind is clearly blown. That's exactly what I've been trying to figure out. Like, I know I'm non-binary, but there are days when I feel more feminine or more masculine, and I thought that meant I was confused or human, River interrupts gently, her 24-year-old wisdom showing. Gender can be fluid, identity can be complex. That doesn't make it less valid. Charlie, our 15-year-old gender fluid kid, looks up from where they've been inhaling Della's chili like they haven't eaten in years.
And she's out to
That's what Mom always tells us, right? That we don't have to fit in anyone else's box.
That's why I didn't answer you.
Should I continue?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just explaining why I wasn't answering the phone when he tried to call me earlier.
Okay. Especially not boxes labeled normal, Alexander adds. Our 20-year-old analytical genius managing to make even agreement sound like a philosophical treatise. Normal is just a statistical average, not a goal worth pursuing. From the other end of the table, Bubba chuckles, that deep rumble that comes from his chest like distant thunder. Listen to these kids, he says to Elaine, who's nursing her third Mount Gay and Coke. Wendy, I'd be on the fucking floor, honey, but okay. And watching the younger generation was something that might be maternal pride. Smart as hell and half our age. Smart as hell and twice as brave, Elaine corrects, raising her glass toward the kids. We had to figure this shit out in our 50s and 60s. These babies are doing it before they can legally drink. Some of us can legally drink, Alexander points out, with that logical precision that makes me want to ruffle his hair and also throttle. Some of us have been legally drinking since before you were born, Julie shoots back, her Jack and Diet Coke making her more sarcastic than usual. At 71, she's earned the right to drink whatever the fuck she wants and judge our life choices accordingly. Mary, still looking slightly overwhelmed by the chaos, but making an effort, leans towards Sage. What are you drawing there? Sage looks up from their napkin art, 28 years old and quietly wise in that way that comes from observing more than participating. Connections, they say simply, showing an intricate pattern of interlocking circles. How families expand, how love creates new shapes without breaking the original structure. Jesus, Mary murmurs, studying the drawing. That's beautiful. Most beautiful things are, Sarah observes from her spot next to Eric, both of them watching the younger crowd with that mixture of envy and relief that comes from surviving your 20s and 30s with your sanity mostly intact. Beauty requires vulnerability. Vulnerability is fucking terrifying. Eric nods, his factory worker hands wrapped around a beer bottle like it's an anchor. Took me until 29 to figure out who I was. These kids are doing it at 16, 18, 22. Makes me proud and worried in equal measure. Worried why? Charlie asks, genuine curiosity in their voice. Because the world's still cruel, Eric says simply. Because being brave doesn't protect you from other people's ignorance. But it protects you from your own, Grubby speaks up unexpectedly. Their 30-year-old intersects perspective, carrying weight that silences the table. And sometimes that's enough to keep going until you find your people. The kids, Charlie, Alexander, Gizmo, Phoenix, all look at Grubby with that reverence reserved for profound truths delivered without fanfare. River squeezes Phoenix's hand, understanding the gift of wisdom when it's offered freely. Speaking of finding your people, Miguel announces, standing up with that theatrical flair that means he's about to do something that'll make me cry again. We have something for you. You already gave me a party, I pretend. But Della's already emerging from the kitchen with a wrapped package that looks suspiciously book-shaped. Shut up and let us love you, she says, flour still dusting her forearms. It's your fucking birthday. I take the package, heavy in my hands, wrapped in brown paper that's been decorated with rainbow markers in what looks suspiciously like Phoenix's artistic style. You guys didn't have to. Open it, Ezra demands from their spot on the couch, Coltrane still purring in their lap like a fuzzy motorboat. The paper falls away to reveal a hardcover copy of The Wind in the Willows, but not just any copy. This one's old, weathered copy with gilt edges that catch the light like captured stars. And when I open the cover, my breath stops completely. Somebody else want to take over?
Just a yeah.
If Sarah doesn't want to, I will. It's under the picture.
I see it.
Is where it starts.
For Helen, may you always find the river when you need it most. Kenneth Graham, 1925. It's signed. The fucking book is signed by Kenneth Graham himself. Nearly a century old and worth more than my car. How the fuck? I start, but Danny raises her hand. My ex-girlfriend works at a rare book auction house, she explains, her crystals catching the light as she gestures. Found it in an estate sale. The old woman who owned it had the same name as yours, as your Helen. Felt like fate. We all pitched in, Brandon adds. And there's satisfaction in his voice, like he solved a particularly complex writing problem, even scraped together enough to authenticate it properly. I run my fingers over the inscription, over Helen's name in faded ink, and the tears start again. Because this isn't just a book. This is a bridge across time, a connection between the woman who taught me to mother and the family I've built from that teaching. Helen would have lost her shit, I whisper, voice thick with emotion. A signed first edition, she collected books, but never had anything this precious. Now you do, Curious said softly, her hand finding mine across the table. Now you have something precious enough to match what she gave you. I look around the table at these people, my chosen family, who somehow understand that the best gifts aren't the things you buy, but the connections you create. Who knew that I needed something tangible to bridge the gap between Helen's love and the love I learned to give? Thank you, I manage. It's inadequate, but it's all I have. Thank you for seeing what this means. Read it to us, Gizmo says suddenly. There's something in her voice that suggests she needs this too. This connection to Helen through story, the way Helen used to read it to you. I hesitate because reading aloud means vulnerability, means sharing the rhythm and the tone that Helen used, the way she made words come alive. But then I look at my daughter, not just Gizmo, but all of them, everyone around the table who has become my family, or has become family through choice and love and stubborn refusal to accept that blood is the only thing that counts. When I was small, I began settling the book in my lap. This is how Helen would read me the book. I open the first page, find the familiar words, and let Helen's voice flow through mine. The mole had been working very hard all the morning, spring cleaning his little home, first with brooms, then with dusters, then on ladders and steps and chairs, with a brush and a pail of whitewash, till he had dust in his throat and eyes, and splashes of whitewash all over his black fur, and an aching back and weary arms. My voice finds Helen's rhythm, the way she paused between phrases, the way she made cleaning sound like an adventure worth abandoning. Around the table, everyone goes quiet, drawn into the story despite themselves. Spring was moving in the air and in the earth below and around him, penetrating even his dark and lowly little house with its spirit of divine discontent and longing. It was a small wonder then that he suddenly flung down his brush on the floor and said, "Bother!" and "Oh, blow!" and also "Hang spring cleaning," and bolted out of the house without even waiting to put on his coat. I see them all falling into it, the younger ones because they're still young enough to believe in magic, the older ones because they remember what it felt like to be young enough to bolt from responsibility toward possibility. The evening winds down with Fleetwood Mac's Landslide playing softly while we clean up the aftermath of the best birthday party I've ever had. Plates in the sink, empty bottles lined up like soldiers who fought a good war. Coltrane purring contentedly on the windowsill as he watches the chaos with feline amusement. Gizmo, Phoenix, Charlie, Alexander, Grubby, and River have commandeered the dining room table, transforming it into a battlefield of board games that somehow all got pulled out simultaneously. Ticket to Ride spreads across half the surface with tiny plastic frames claiming railway routes, while Who Killed Dr. Lucky's mansion layout overlaps with colorful circular cards from spots scattered like confetti. Smash-ups, faction cards are stacked in chaotic piles that only make sense to people under 25. I call it Lil Beth Card, Gizmo announces triumphantly, snatching up what appears to be her favorite from the spots deck. This little fucker always brings me luck. That's not how spots works, Alexander points out to his sibling with his typical logical precision. Sorry. But he's grinning as he says it. You can't just claim cards based on emotional attachment. Watch me, Gizmo retorts, holding the card protectively against her chest. Little Beth and I have an understanding. And I think I need water. You guys want to wait a second while I go grab some water, or do you want to continue? Give me a second. I know exactly where it is.
Okay, good. We have another person. Hello, Jen. It's pretty good for a Sunday, I guess. I'm at a wedding, drinking too much and being antisocial, Astrid Belladonna.
Well, since you're in my neck of the woods, if you feel like being social, you stop by my place afterward, Astrid.
I got to invite you down here to be on my porch one day, Elaine.
Oh, okay.
Sounds great to me. I'll make tea, maybe some cookies.
Oh, hey.
Okay, we're back. And it's almost done.
Is it almost done?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie is trying to explain Smash Up to Phoenix, with their purple hair catching the overhead light as they gesture wildly. No, see, you combine the unicorns with the pirates, then the fun starts. Charlie chortles. Maybe, Phoenix utters funnily. NB energy practically vibrating as they place another base card onto the table with theatrical precision. Maybe not. River's still in their hospital scrubs because they came straight from a 12-hour shift, studies the Dr. Lucky board with a kind of analytical focus that comes from making life and death decisions all day. I think Mr. White did it in the library with the candlestick, they announced solemnly. Wrong game, Grubby points out. Also, Mrs. White isn't even a character in this one. All murder mystery games are the same, River declares with the confidence of someone who's seen too much real death to take fiction death seriously. The older crowd is settled into comfortable chairs and couch cushions, nursing final drinks and watching the younger generations organize chaos with that mixture of pride and bewilderment that comes from recognizing yourself in people who are somehow both exactly like you and completely different. You know what, I say suddenly, looking around at the beautiful chaos of love that fills my house. Ellen never wished for anything. She just did. Made food, fixed hair, loved a weird kid who didn't fit. She didn't wish for a better world. She carved out a pocket of it with her bare hands and embedded me in. And now you do the same, Miguel says softly, raising his final glass for the evening, something amber that catches the light like liquid gold. To not wishing, to building. To building, the room echoes. And for the first time in my life, my birthday doesn't feel like a reminder of what I never got. It feels like a celebration of what I built from the ashes of wishes that never came true. Later, much later, after most of the chosen family had headed home or claimed spare surfaces to sleep on, I sit in the living room with Gizmo, Kira, Charlie, and Alexander. The signed copy of The Wind in the Willows rests on the shelf against the wall where it belongs, a bridge across generations of love that refuses to be broken by time or distance or the thousand small cruelties the world inflicts on those who dare to be different. Mary left an hour ago after an awkward but not unfriendly goodbye that included a genuine hug and a promise to figure things out that felt more hopeful than threatening. And I felt at ease finally, like true solutions were happening finally. This feels like home, Gizmo says simply, looking around at the remnants of the celebration. It is home, I tell her, and I mean it. It's your home. It always has been. And as the night settles around us, as my children, all of them, chosen and born and claimed, find their places in the space we've created together, I understand something Helen tried to teach me years ago. Love isn't about wishing for what you don't have. It's about building something beautiful from what you do have, one stubborn act of care at a time. Do we read the quote at the end?
I'll finish.
Okay.
The secret to change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Socrates. Helen understood that love isn't about wishing for what we never had. It's about building something beautiful from what we do have, one stubborn act of care at a time. Some families are born, others are built, but the strongest ones are those that refuse to let go of each other, no matter how far the world tries to scatter them. We don't fight the old wounds. We build new connections strong enough to bridge any distance. Well, at least it gave us a lot to do today.
It's more talking than I think I've done in days.
Thank goodness it was reading, so we didn't have to actually focus too much.
Oh, no. Reading takes more focus.
My next live is all reading. It's writer prompt night. So I've got more.
Oh no, I missed your last writer's prompt.
Yeah, it was let me get the piece of paper out I put it on. She didn't expect to find a body in the tub when she moved the shower curtain.
That escalated quickly.
Let's say mine devolved into something quite interesting very quickly. That one was brought up by Julie. That was Julie's writer's prompt. So, but hopefully,
all right,
Wendy feels everyone's love and so forth for gathering here without her, reading her stuff and wishing her happy birthday in our hearts. Hi, Millicent. I had my son for my 30th birthday. 30 years, 6 minutes apart, actually. And so I used to joke that I never aged past 30 because I gave my birthday away so I couldn't age, right? It didn't work, but I tried. It's like, oh, goodness. I will never be Birdie again. And, yeah, the big boy was my birthday present. 27 years ago next month. So that's my youngest. So is your kitty still on your lap? That is
She's
so nice.
been up and down. Oh, she's such a little whore. She's just a total, Velcro.
It was hilarious. At one point, she's like looking right into the camera.
Mm-hmm. If I can get her turned around here. There she is.
I wish my kitty cats were so kind to me.
Oh, well, the other two. Yeah, the other two, they'll sit on my lap for a little while, but they have to call the shots. I can't turn them upside down like a baby and stuff like I can her.
Oh,
Where she goes.
Here. Yeah, I got him to feed the cats, so I won't have to between the two shows. He was kind of grumpy about that. He's like, "Really, Mom? Really make me feed the cats?" I'm like, "Sure. You were supposed to bring the pickup truck back this morning, and you didn't. Surely I get something for that, right?" Oh, they grow up and they still need you.
I know.
They never quit meeting you. Which I guess is good because otherwise they might never show up again, At least I
Well,
get visited.
don't want that.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes he's here too much. I actually he shows up. I'm like, weren't you just here yesterday? Can't you leave me alone for 24 hours at least? He doesn't feel unloved, I don't think, but maybe I shouldn't say that too often.
I don't know. My parents moved almost 900 miles away when I was 20 years old, and they were there for the rest of my mom's life and for the next 35 years of my dad's life. I brought him back to live with me 10 months before he died because their place was out in the middle of the woods and he really couldn't stay out there by himself. And my
Right.
brothers in town were not, he lived with one of them for a while and it drove him up the wall.
Yeah.
So I went up there in the summer of 2020, and I'm afraid to say I pulled the female card and cried and begged him to come home with me. And he did. And
we do what it takes, right?
We got him down here and took him to KU Medical Center because he'd had gallbladder problems. Well, he was 94 years old. And of course, the surgeons on the UP didn't want to operate on a 94-year-old man. So we brought him down here to KU. They operated on him and found gallbladder cancer. So, yeah, that's not one of the ones that, even if it had been, he was 94. My mom was, had been gone for 17 years and he was like, no, I'm just going to go. So he did. He was in home hospice in my house for, about 8 more months. And he was up and walking around, until a few days before he finally went. Had to put him in a hospital bed and moved in my living room. My parents it breaks my heart to hear Wendy talk about her mother because even though my mom had a difficult time when I first came out, they just were once they finally, came around, they were my champions. My dad performed my commitment ceremony to my partner back in the 90s. And a few years later, my mom, who was a church organist, an atheist church organist, that's how I turned out so weird. But anyway, she was playing the organ in a Methodist church. And it was a church where I had gone, to visit my parents a lot of times, and they had asked me to sing because I'm a singer. So I would sing. And one Sunday morning, she was playing the organ, and the pastor got up and preached a sermon and, preached against homosexuality and how it was so terrible and sinful. My mom got up in the middle of the sermon, gathered up her music, and walked out. And called and left a message on the voicemail of the church and said, I'll be back tomorrow morning to pick up, because the organ actually belonged to her too. So I have no idea what they did to the music after that, but yeah, you didn't mess with Joni, let me tell you. So when I hear stories like Wendy's, that just absolutely breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. I still haven't read a lot of her biographies. She's always teasing about don't read it, don't read it. I can't. It would break my heart.
I worry it would trigger me.
Yeah, I just
sorry, Elaine.
No, that's okay. That's what
I dealt with things like being locked out in the snow in my bare feet and nightgown.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. See, that's what people don't fucking understand. They all think I hate babies and I'm standing on the sidewalk because I hate babies and want more of them killed. No, I want them born to people who are ready to have a baby and who are ready to raise a child, however it turns out,
Right.
I mean,
right.
Not everybody's parents come around, like mine did. So I've
my dad never would have.
Hospice in the 80s, and there were a lot of guys there that they died all by themselves. Their parents, their families weren't there. They were disowned. It's caused
that's just
pain.
Horrible.
So
yeah, it does. Yeah, my husband and I, it was a bad idea ultimately, but we ended up befriending a guy. He was disowned by his dad right before his dad died. And we ended up being there for him after that happened.
Mhm.
And, people need that connection.
Mhm.
And then we also had another guy, he was adopted. He definitely was queer. And he was adopted, and his adopted father kicked him out his senior year. And he ended up moving in with us and living with us. And, I found out very quickly that there's a real problem in the system of in the social services as far as your foster kids. When they age out, there is no home for them.
It's nothing for 'em.
That
Mhm.
protection that you have where your parents are there to catch you it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
And they don't have anyone. They don't have someone to invite them for Thanksgiving dinner. They don't have any Christmases to go to. And
Mhm.
that's just horrifying to realize there's this whole subgroup of people that have nothing.
Mhm.
And they're like 18, 19 years old, and they have no home.
Yeah.
That they just have to keep going. And that was an eye opener for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because there are so many unwanted kids, and we seem to sometimes focus more on puppies and kittens than we do people when it
Yeah.
comes to unwanted. Because
Well, maybe
damaged
that's
people
because
can be harder.
there aren't picketers outside vet offices saying spaying and neutering is murder, So,
Yeah, it's like they don't even have a complete nervous system yet, and
mhm.
everything else, and that's wrong.
Mhm.
But letting the mother die after she has a miscarriage isn't.
Mhm.
It's baffling the
Oh,
way their
well,
values go.
I'm
It
an
just
equal opportunity baby killer. I have spayed cats who were pregnant. I've had
yeah,
cats spayed who were pregnant. It's like, I can rehome this cat with me, but I'm not taking the 5 kittens that she's got in her. So,
yeah. I've seen that happen more often than not. We
well, I mean,
actually had a cat have
there are some lives that are not meant to be lived. If that's playing God, so be it. But,
pretty much.
mhm,
Um, it, I think that if I hadn't been hung up on by my childhood rearing, I think my abortion would have been a lot better than it was.
mhm, mhm.
Um, I was raised up, it was murder, so that was a really big
Oh,
mind trip.
my mother didn't agree with me. Neither of my parents agreed with me about abortion. And that's the terrible thing is you figure out so much after they're gone and you can't do anything about it anymore. You understand them so much better, you know.
Right.
And my parents were overwhelmed. They had more kids than they could afford, and they had more kids than they could deal with. And, you know, um, but still, even at that, they weren't the type to do what these psycho Christians do and actively try and interfere with
Right.
abortion rights.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I love Jessica Valenti. I just got 2 of her new T-shirts. The one I wore yesterday was pink and it said abortion bans can fuck off into the sun. And it's funny because I stood on the sidewalk all morning with it, right? And then I had to go pick up prescriptions at the grocery store.
Oh no.
And I'm in Fairway, Kansas.
Oh
If
no. That's crazy. Oh
uh,
boy.
and I had my crossbody bag and I was like changing it around to cover up the word fuck. 'Cause my favorite cashier is the little 80-some-year-old woman, and I was like, "Oh god, I can't let Nancy see me like this." But, oh my gosh. Anyway.
Yeah. I was convinced by rhetoric, of course, that the um later term abortions were wrong. And then I read an article about a family who found out that their baby was acephalic,
And then
and their state didn't allow late abortions, and they had to drive like 2 states away in order, and then their other option was to carry the baby to term, have it die at birth, and have siblings and everyone else have to explain that the baby was dead, but mom still had it, and all these other. And my husband's one daughter-in-law, she had a baby die in utero at 8 months.
Mhm.
and she had to give birth to a dead child.
Hmm.
And it was absolutely heartbreaking.
I mean, and some women in that position wouldn't want an abortion. They wouldn't want the pregnancy term. I have a friend who, she's a devout Mormon. She grew up RLDS, the same church I did. She took piano lessons from my mother. Her mother taught my mom and me to sew. It was the closest to killing each other we ever came, let me tell you. But anyway, Jody and I were little girls about the same time. She was a couple of years younger. She married one of my classmates who was very, very devout Mormon, and she converted. They had 9 kids. And the 9th one, when she was 20 or however many weeks it is that you can find out, weeks pregnant, she found out that it was a girl and it had some kind of trisomy. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been 13. Wasn't going to live. Now, she's a devout Mormon. She would never have had an abortion, and she didn't. She went through and she had the little girl, and she lived like 55 minutes. And that was her choice too.
Right.
You know, that's
Right.
I don't know where this idea came in, that if you approve of abortion, that means you want to force women to have them. No. So,
No, it's a matter of protecting women who choose to have one instead of having them die from it.
mhm.
That's what it comes down to. And no, we should want to protect other people.
Mhm.
And when a woman becomes nothing but her ability to bear children,
That just
and
drives
that's
me
kind of
nuts.
where we're at again. I wonder, like, with the people like you and me, like, I'm too old to have kids.
Yeah.
What value do I have now?
Mhm.
I
I
don't
know.
even have a uterus. I can't even carry someone else's child for them. There's
The thing
nothing.
that
I
I
mean,
feel,
I'm in that boat too. I had a hysterectomy last year.
I had one in 2008, and that was a lot later than I wanted one, let me tell you.
Yeah,
But
me too.
I'm having there was about a dozen of us on the sidewalk yesterday, and I'm so grateful to report that about half of them were younger people, 20 somethings, 30 somethings. And a lot of the people that come to stand, the younger people have to work on Saturdays because they have jobs that they have to work on Saturdays. They can't be out there. And, when I first got back into it a few years ago, I was grumpy and it's like, come on, where the hell are these women? This is their issue, right? But if you have to work, you have to work. I always worked office jobs, which is how I was able to be out there in my 20s. But I was joking with them yesterday because they say, I said, yeah, I went from being a baby dyke on the sidewalk to a nasty old crone. I was just as nasty to those people in 1986 as I am now, but but I got a little more authority because most of them were still pissing their deities when I was doing it the first time.
Right.
So, but no, that's the other thing I like. I asked them about a lot of them have traveled, like Europe and places like that. And I asked them, I said, what's the deal with the general strike and the things that they're talking about for protesting?
Right.
And because I said, I'm not striking. This isn't my employer's fault that all this shit is going on. And I'm not going to go job hunt at 60. And they're like, oh, no. They were like, well, a general strike isn't going to work anyway because there are too many people that wouldn't participate in it. But it's just, I'm learning
Especially
from
because,
them. It's great.
well, part of the reason no one's willing to do it is because so many people have had their wages stagnated. They can't afford the days off to do it. When you're looking at taking 3 days off without pay, that's a humongous chunk of your income. And people are too desperate. And they kind of made sure they put us here, to be honest. If you're a real
Oh, yeah.
conspiracy theorist, they made sure they stagnated wages and made us desperate before they started pulling this.
Well, that's what I don't get. It's like, why can't we just? I had a meme that somebody sent me. Why can't we just divide the United States up? I mean, the European Union has progressive, policies in place, and they don't die from it. So maybe it's that the United States is too large, and
maybe, but we'd get abandoned into the regressive place because we're in Kansas and Missouri.
Oh, honey, I'll buy a camper and we can blow the joint.
Sounds like a good plan. I was looking at the climate changes, and Pennsylvania actually looks a lot more stable, and it's apparently still considered a blue state. So there's there. Thing is, the taxes are a lot higher.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm looking because I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I've been like looking at trying to go home to where my trees are, and
Mhm.
it's like I look at the taxes on the properties. I'm like, it's twice what I pay for tax on here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
getting dark, and I've got to go close on my chickens, and I'm the hostess, so we're gonna have to go.
This has been delightful. Thank you very much. I have 3 loads of laundry I have to do, so I'm going to have to miss the bedtime one, but
Well,
I've been lazy all
thank
day.
you. Okay, we'll see you guys again soon.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night.